You've thrown everything away, you've destroyed me, and you're not even in love with her. You're ridiculous.
This is intense. This lesbian is intense. It is. God, I was shaking after that episode. Is this what Bridgerton feels like for straight people? Because I was shaking. I don't think I've seen such intense lesbian drama since Bet and Tina had an affair in the L Word season 5. This is how intense it is. It was so good. I mean, where do I begin? Everybody's acting in this was just fantastic. I was not expecting the drama to be this good. I mean, I knew it would be good, but I didn't think I would be literally gasping at the screen. Hi guys, welcome to a video, and in today's video, I'm just going to be reviewing episode 3, season 2, Gentleman Jack. I will just tell you right now, I think this is my favourite episode so far this season. It just had me on the edge of my seat. I gasped when Mariana came into the room with Anne. Okay, I'm getting really ahead of myself, but you don't understand how engrossed I was in this episode, and the way that they've captured all of the tension and the acting in this episode was just give this show a BAFTA, give this show an Emmy, give this show all the awards. From beginning to end, this episode was chef's kiss. It was okay. All right, you get the picture. So the episode starts with Anne writing in her diary, and the opening of this episode is just absolutely beautiful. The cinematography and the artistry particularly stood out to me in this episode, and everything was just delicious to behold. You know, the whole aesthetic was on point, and I can't imagine the amount of work that must go into costumes and props and set design, and just all of it was completely delicious this episode. The breakfast scene was also hilarious. Hashtag exploding cow. I'm curious to know if the exploding cow was something that was actually in Anne Lister's diaries. I need to know this. Gemma just nailed this scene, and their scenes around the table together are always A+. I also found this episode really interesting in terms of history, particularly the history of the railway. It's fascinating to think about the way in which stock used to be distributed and transported around the country, and how it was rapidly evolving in this period. It's just so interesting to me. I have a thing for old steam trains. I don't know how good they are for the environment, but they sure do look romantic, and we all know that's the only thing that really matters in life. I really liked Mrs. Ross in this episode. I just enjoy her on-screen presence, you know? So we see how fragile Mariana is in this episode and how desperate and heartbroken she is. And she sends Anne a very intense letter which does give some insight into her past relationship with Anne and some of the issues that they had together. And I think the one thing that this episode highlights, just through the letters alone, is just how deep and complicated their relationship was, and I'm not surprised that they both had trouble with closure. And Mariana, in her desperation, invites Anne to come and stay with her, which puts Anne in a position, because on the one hand she knows it's over between her and Mariana, but at the same time there's obviously a history of deep feelings between the two of them, and you can see why Anne wouldn't want to abandon her and why she thinks a visit might be a good idea for the both of them so they can finally have some closure. I have to say, as much as I was enjoying the drama, I do think Mariana has a lot of nerve. Going after Anne like this when she's finally in a relationship with someone who wants to commit to her, which is something Mariana never did. And although it's complicated between Mariana and Anne, and there's a lot of feelings there, it is somewhat selfish. That said, I am enjoying the drama. As I say, the acting in this episode was incredible, and I think Sophie captured the tension and the concern around Anne's relationship with Mariana in this episode perfectly, particularly in the scene where Anne is giving Anne a massage. And you can see how worried Anne is, because it's like deep down she knows something isn't quite right. And it's like Anne says herself, you know, there's unfinished business. So in her mind, she's doing the right thing by trying to give both of them that closure. But you can see that Anne knows that there's possibly other motivations besides closure from this invitation that Mariana has sent to Anne. And the scene where Anne is saying goodbye to Anne Walker just had me feeling so guilty. This episode just did a fantastic job of capturing all the worry and the tension, and that's what made it so kind of engrossing and interesting. When Mariana walked in to that room, I gasped. I was on the edge of my seat. That is how intense it was. And the way that she starts projecting and guilt tripping Anne and just giving her this whole speech about how she's thrown everything away for a woman that she's not even in love with. She calls Anne ridiculous. And whilst Mariana is clearly projecting and guilt tripping Anne, you have to wonder if there's some truth to what she's saying. And I think it's genius that the episode ended on that note, because I actually thought they might kiss in that moment. I don't know why, I was very caught up in everything, but the fact that they ended it on that note instead it's interesting, and I knew this was going to be good. I didn't know it was going to be this good. Overall, I love this episode. I think it's been the best episode this season so far, and I cannot wait for episode 4. I think it's going to be... Okay guys, if you've seen episode 3, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments section below. If you're a lesbian, if you're a woman who likes other women, come and join the Sapphic Underground Club. Just come and do it. Don't make me guilt trip you through 19th century style love letters. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do a Mariana. Don't forget to subscribe for instant disappointment. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.